Have you ever wondered what it's like to be the richest person on Earth? Not just by a million or a billion, but by a trillion. This is Elon Musk, the man who seemingly can do no wrong. Tesla's visionary CEO has shocked the world yet again, becoming the ultimate richest man alive, with a jaw-dropping net worth of $26.8 billion. He holds the record for longest-standing CEO of an automobile company, Tesla, adding yet another title to his name. But when this business magnate isn't revolutionizing industries, he indulges in a lifestyle of mind-boggling luxury. Let's talk about his most surprising purchase: over 3,500 acres in Bastrop, Texas. This massive stretch of land, lying just outside Austin, has been dubbed Snail Brook, a cheeky nod to his boring company. What's the vision? Picture a Texas utopia along the Colorado River. Prefabricated homes, pools, sports areas, gyms, even a charter school. It's like he's building his own world. But Texas isn't where it ends. Remember Starbase in Boca Chica, another massive project where SpaceX shoots for the stars? Of course, luxury isn't just about owning land. Remember when Musk was spotted last summer, basking in the sun on the Zeus super yacht off the coast of Greece? This 79-foot beauty is the epitome of extravagance. With 4 luxurious cabins, a sleek modern design, and amenities fit for royalty, you can see why it costs a cool $7,000 per day. From private compounds to dazzling yachts, Elon Musk defines the lifestyle of the impossibly wealthy. Elon Musk's current opulent lifestyle feels worlds away from his past. Believe it or not, he wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Born in Pretoria, South Africa, on June 28, 1971, his parents were South African and Canadian. Young Elon was always bright. By 12, he'd created a video game and sold it, but South Africa's apartheid stifled his potential. So, in 1988, armed with a Canadian passport, he left. He was tired of supporting oppression and saw greater opportunities in the United States. Elon's American journey started at Queen's University in Canada, later transferring to the University of Pennsylvania. He wasn't just partying, he earned degrees in physics and economics. In 1997, he even began a PhD at Stanford. But Silicon Valley was calling. Stanford lasted 2 days before he dropped out to pursue an online idea with his brother. That idea was Zip2, a company that gave newspapers maps and directions. Think very early Google Maps. Compaq bought it for millions in 1999. That sale was just the beginning. Elon took that money and co-founded X.com, which later became the online payment giant PayPal. When eBay bought PayPal in 2002, he made a jaw-dropping $1.5 billion. Now, that's when the billionaire lifestyle truly kicked in. Remember his $1 million McLaren F1? That was his PayPal treat. Luckily, he survived a crash, but it made him rethink his spending for a while. Elon Musk's drive to shake up the world didn't stop with cars or finance. He had something even bolder in mind: space. His belief that humanity must venture beyond Earth to survive led him to found Space Exploration Technologies. Bet bucks the trend of minimalist tech CEOs. He wasn't about turtlenecks and hoodies. Instead, he hired designer Emily Weiss to create a whole new image. Think rugged, vintage Americana. Young Harrison Ford, Paul Newman, those were the icons he channeled. His 2018 SXSW outfit sealed the deal. Leather bomber jacket, boots, talking Mars colonization. This wasn't just clothes. It was a statement of ambition. That style's evolved. Gone are the stylists. Now there's a swaggering Elon signature. Think oversized graphic tees, tapered jeans. He was recently spotted at SpaceX, the wind whipping at that t-shirt, and it just works. Cars are his other passion. Exotic high performance. It's about the best brands out there. His classic 67 Jaguar E-Type is legendary, despite some trouble he had with it. Then there's the everyday fleet: Audi Q7, Porsche 911, BMW M5. He needs speed and space. And of course, as Tesla's boss, there's the weird stuff. That Bond movie Lotus Submarine he paid nearly $1 million for. Lately though, the focus is Twitter. He joined in 2009, got a huge following. Then in 2022, the grand plan: buying the whole thing. But between the price and all the chaos he causes on the platform, it's proving to be one of his toughest challenges yet. Elon Musk and drama go hand in hand. In 2018, he tweeted Tesla could go private for $420 a share, saying money was no problem. Big deal? Huge. The SEC accused him of straight-up lying to investors. Lawsuits flew, despite Tesla's board fighting. Musk settled, gave up his chairman title for 3 years, had lawyers read every tweet, plus a $20 million fine. Ouch. But he couldn't leave Twitter alone. He bashed their moderation, calling himself a free speech absolutist. By 2022, it wasn't rants, it was a takeover bid. First 9% of the company, then a $44 billion offer to own it outright. Twitter's board shockingly said yes. Musk acted like it was done. New features, killing bots, the works. Then, surprise! July 2022, he pulls out. Claims Twitter lied about spam accounts. Lawsuit time again. Shareholders finally forced his hand, accepting his offer in September. Suddenly, Elon Musk owned Twitter, and by October was the new CEO. Elon Musk took over Twitter and chaos reigned. He slashed staff, charged for the blue checkmark, disbanded content moderation, and let Trump back on. But instead of booming business, advertisers fled. Undeterred, he even rebranded it X in July 2023. Yet, his grand plans kept hitting roadblocks. There's that billion-dollar penalty hanging over him from when he tried to ditch the Twitter buyout, plus alleged affairs, one with Google's co-founder's wife, the other resulting in secret twins with a Tesla exec. All this within a month. And that's not even mentioning the racism and sexism lawsuits. It's a lot for anyone, and Musk is cracking. He stepped down as Twitter's CEO in June 2023 and is retreating from the spotlight. Gone is the guy who'd tweet with anyone. Now, he's hanging out with far-right politicians in Italy. From tech visionary to tabloid mess, his fall from grace is as dramatic as his rise. Elon Musk's inner circle knows how to stroke his ego. While in Rome, he accepted an invitation to the fancy Atraju festival, hosted by Italy's right-wing government. But the best part? The crazy gifts. Celebrity jeweler Ben Baller made him a one-of-a-kind ring, diamond-studded, with Tesla's name and logo. Baller gushed on Instagram about Musk inspiring him, his buddy with a Model X, and America as a whole. Valued at $37,000, it's the first time Baller's ever given a personalized piece away. Gifts like this go hand in hand with Musk's billionaire lifestyle. He won't fly commercial, only in his private jets. That Gulfstream G650, his favorite, extra big and extra fast, perfect for those California to Texas trips. When he does land, only 5-star hotels will do. Fancy suites, the works. Unless he's pulling a workaholic all-nighter, then it's a quick nap on his factory floor. But those are the exceptions. This is a guy who lives for luxury, after all. Elon Musk's journey is a testament to the power of unwavering ambition. From a young age, he wasn't content with the status quo. He dreamt of a future beyond Earth, of electric cars sleek enough to rival gas guzzlers, and of online payment systems that revolutionize the way we transact. While his path hasn't been without its bumps, legal battles, dramatic tweets, and the ever-present challenge of turning his ambitious visions into reality, Musk has never shied away from a challenge, and he isn't your typical billionaire. While he certainly enjoys the trappings of wealth, private jets, innovative ventures like the Boring Company's tunnel systems, his focus remains on pushing boundaries. He leads multiple companies, including SpaceX, aiming for Mars colonization, and Tesla driving the electric car revolution. His wealth stems from his significant ownership in these companies, particularly Tesla. Unlike many billionaires, Musk isn't afraid to live frugally, reportedly staying in modest prefab housing near his SpaceX facilities. His billionaire lifestyle is more about fueling his ambitions than indulging in luxuries. Despite controversies surrounding his foundation's operations, Musk has made substantial charitable contributions. His foundation supports science education, renewable energy research, and pediatric healthcare causes. Notably, he's pledged to donate significant portions of his wealth to addressing critical global issues. While his approach to philanthropy may be unconventional, Musk's impact through his foundation is undeniable. His critics may scoff at the extravagance surrounding him, but perhaps it's a byproduct of a relentless drive. The sprawling estates, the private jets. These are all perks that come with building companies that have redefined entire industries. They're also a source of amusement for a man who, despite his wealth, hasn't lost his sense of humor. Remember the Dogecoin tweets? More importantly, his wealth allows him to reinvest in his audacious dreams. Snailbrook, in Texas, Not just a private utopia, but a potential testing ground for sustainable living solutions. The massive Starship rockets. Not just a vanity project, but a potential key to unlocking a multi-planetary future for humanity. Elon Musk may not be the perfect CEO, the ideal role model, or the epitome of humility, but one thing is undeniable. He's a visionary leader who constantly pushes boundaries. His companies continue to innovate, his ideas continue to inspire, and his relentless pursuit of the seemingly impossible continues to propel technological advancements at an unprecedented.
She's supposed to be the star, Glenn. Michelle Obama. This dovetails perfectly with so many other comments she's made about how she is, like, what about me? What about me? What did those 8 years in the White House do to my soul?
Michelle Obama is making clear that everything that she had to do to support her husband's career was something that was completely against her will, that it was some sort of like psychological damage and imposed on her for having to do it.
Megyn Kelly has just exposed what she calls the darkest secret about Michelle Obama, and it's sending shockwaves through the media. She's
still just as bitter as ever. There's such a great new, spin of complaints here. Here's one from her most recent episode, which still on YouTube, she's got 200,000 subscribers. It's really amazing that now she's been doing this for how many episodes? She's been literally on every podcast of the left wing promoting it, and that's still all she's managed to get. Here she is interviewing Dr. Sharon Malone, perhaps better known as former Attorney General Eric Holder's wife. And therein lies the problem, as these two ladies, married to two very famous men, are pissed that they are not the alpha in terms of popularity and recognition in their marriages.
Michelle Obama's chilling claim that men are a non-factor in relationships is being seen by some as a dangerous message that could undermine traditional family values.
Sharon's husband happens to be former Attorney General Eric Holder. He's a non-factor. He's a non-factor in our relationship.
Okay,
they put us together because we were both reluctant spouses attending one of these huge dinners. And where were they? Was Barack a U.S. senator at the time?
Yes, he was a senator because you were still living in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And Eric was in private practice. So it was the very early days. And, she came to D.C. and you didn't come to D.C. much in those days.
No, ma'am.
And they sit us at a table and we were seated just about like this. She was across the table from me.
Okay.
And you know how there are things going on around us, and I would just look over at her and it was...
Well, and the things were, there was a line of people waiting to shake hands with our respective husbands, people reaching over our heads and spilling water on us, trying to get to these two, illustrious men.
Kelly warns that Obama's latest comments aren't random. They perfectly align with a troubling pattern of rhetoric that's been hiding in plain sight for years.
And that's annoying because she's supposed to be the star, Glenn. Michelle Obama. This dovetails perfectly with so many other comments she's made about how she is what about me? What about me? What did those 8 years in the White House do to my soul? And why isn't anyone asking? They shouldn't have to be told to ask about how I'm doing.
Every single time you showed a clip on this show, including when I wasn't here but I was watching, but also every time I've been here, every single time, I'm not exaggerating, Michelle Obama is making clear that everything that she had to do to support her husband's career was something that was completely against her will, that it was some sort of psychological damage and imposed on her for having to do it. She has resentment and bitterness, I went to this dinner, but against my will because I had to. That's the first thing. I mean, how much anger and resentment does she have toward her husband for having had his own political career that, as we've talked about before, made Michelle Obama one of the richest, most influential, most famous, and most powerful people on the planet. And yet she talks as if that trajectory that he took her on was something that, turned her into some kind of horrible victim that we ought to feel sorry for. On top of that, these podcasts where you what she's doing, which is basically just going around and chit-chatting about her life and the like things she thinks is interesting in her life or the thoughts she has in the middle of the night. It's such an act of like extreme narcissism to go around talking constantly about the things that are being done to you that you think are unfair, when in the entire 8 billion people on the planet, you are basically in the top 0.00001% of the people who are the most privileged by every reasonable metric. I'm not saying people don't go through bad times if they're like very rich or very famous. Of course they do.
The real shock, Kelly suggests, is Michelle Obama portraying herself as a victim while living in unimaginable wealth, privilege, and global power.
But don't you have like any humility at all, like any sensibility at all, that most people don't want to hear from you about how difficult your life is, given that you live in this lavish wealth and fame and you know, got to be in the White House for all those years, but she's angry about it and thinks that it's worthy of all of our attention. To hear her resentment, I can't understand the mindset that produces that belief.
I know. How do you not stop, especially when your husband was commander-in-chief for 8 years, and think there will be people who hear this clip who have no arms and legs thanks to these that we fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, I know some of them, and they will drag themselves out to run the Tunnel to Towers race and other races to raise money for other suffering veterans and firefighters who got hurt on 9/11 and so on, and their families are surviving, who have actual problems that were basically brought on them by the government. And no one, not even people who aren't anywhere near as catastrophically injured as those guys, but especially guys like that, don't want to hear about how someone had to reach past her to shake Barack Obama's hand. She has zero perspective for what actual problems are, Glenn. This is another theme with her. How hard it is to be Michelle, how hard it is to be a woman. Here she is in Saad.
The thing that's different about women than it is about men, with men, you make a new set of every 69 days. You get a new batch. Right. We are born with all we're ever going to have. And that's it. We
always getting the short end. After
Brother Craig, you need to get out of there. You need to go launch your own show. We need a parachute in there to rescue Brother Craig.
I mean, he has to walk on pins and needles, because the minute he does anything other than just like sort of say amen in response to everything she says, she gets super hostile.
Yes. Even more disturbing, critics say Michelle constantly talks over her husband, projecting an image of total control, as if she alone knows best, no matter who's in the room.
Yes, she does. She's always correcting him.
Oh, yeah. If he steps out of line, she's like, no. And then she talks over him and she explains why he's so wrong. And then he eventually apologizes. It's a really like uncomfortable dynamic. But also, like, what is that? Like, women always get the short end of the stick because of their biology. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good, like mark of positivity on the side of women. And women get to do a lot of things that men don't do.
Women get to carry a baby. Yeah, exactly. To be a mother to a baby and breastfeed. But no, I bet she would frame that as some sort of a negative. Here she is. I'll give you another one. Well, I'll just let you watch it. It's Hot 17.
There is at least some, again, anecdotal data that says that older sperm, more autism. We should tell some people, like, maybe it's the old sperm, maybe it's not the vaccine that's causing the autism.
That may be the key behind all the defunding everything. It's just like, let's just blow it up. Old men can keep marrying 20-year-olds.
Exactly.
It's like, I'll give you the baby you want.
What is this? This is just some grievance fest again with two of the most privileged women on earth who are really bitter against men because now we're trying to say it's old male sperm that causes autism. I don't even understand it, but it's typical leftist women talk.
It's a good everything point. She says has like no side point. There's never any like interest in any issue. It's all a proxy for her to depict herself as somehow put upon. And aside from the fact that I don't understand how anybody would ever want to listen to that, I also don't understand, honestly, I really don't, how somebody has the life she has and really is convinced that the whole world is unfair to her, that she's uniquely suffering and that everybody wants to sit around and hear it. There's something very dark in her psyche that is causing her to use this podcast to like disparage her marriage and to talk about how unfair the world has been to her.
She's disparaged her kids. Yeah, she's gone on. She hasn't said like, I hate Malia and Sasha, but she's like, they're extremely hard. And like they come and, your life basically gets ruined. I mean, she's She doesn't talk about them, and she's like, they're launched, She doesn't talk about them in the way of like, they're my everything, like you change as a woman and as a mother, and you profoundly connect with your child upon birth. And she talks about it like it was all yet another thing she had to do for Barack. And even here, this isn't about her children per se, but most women, when they talk about the glorious ability to be a woman, the glorious fact of being a woman, will mention, as you and I both just did, as one of the first things that makes women truly special, the ability to carry and give birth to a child. It's a gift from God. It's such an extraordinary superpower. Is it, Michelle? It's not. I've been married for 17 and a half years, and not one was bad. I think she and he married the wrong people. Every word she says about Barack Obama is negative. Mm-hmm. We're doing it because he made you first lady, but she does not have a kind word for him.
Michelle Obama's unexplained absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral sent quiet shockwaves, but her refusal to attend Trump's inauguration feels like a silent alarm bell ringing.
Got to spend a minute on the Obamas, because there seems to be some momentum picking up in the rumor mill about their marriage. All right, I'm going to bring you what I...
And aside from the fact that I don't